And to date, we're reacting to teen pregnancy is being normalized and it's getting dark. Interesting, right? I thought we were all on the side of, hey, that's not a good idea. But let's see how this is the case. It hasn't been on front of my timeline, and that doesn't mean that it's not real. I just haven't seen it. So every time something like this comes up, I'll be a little bit like, nah, but at the end of the video, I'm like, wow, this is a lot more prevalent. Maybe there is some truth to this after all, but they do it.
We just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing. We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for.
Why do y'all want to normalize kids getting pregnant?
The arguments that I keep seeing are, well, you hit puberty at this time, your body does this, you're da-da-da-da. Just because your body is ready to do something does not mean your mind is.
Tell me why they mad at me. Why are you mad at me? Because I don't like promoting teen pregnancy. What? Y'all are weirdos.
Social media has made documenting teen pregnancy easier than ever.
This is what I'm packing in my hospital bag as a 13-year-old pregnant teen.
Get dressed with me as a 16-year-old that's 30 weeks pregnant.
Get ready with me to go to an ultrasound.
I have not seen this ever before in life. This hasn't come on my timeline. I don't see this. Have I seen this before in life as a young person? Yeah. I went to school with somebody in middle school. I was like, wow, that's crazy, right? I don't know where she is today. But so it happens. But that was like the big, like, what? That was like it wasn't even you that got pregnant, but it blew everybody's world up. It was like people's parents knew it didn't matter. Like, hey, and then you just come back from school and your mom would be like, listen to me. Don't you come back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would start getting those types of talks and all of that. So this is just crazy to see. They're documenting their situation. I'm trying to think like, okay, is this one of those things where is social media making it normal? Or are they already doing that anyway? And then is social media making it normal? Or are they doing that anyway? And then it just happens to be like, oh, I'm on social media too.
16 and 28 weeks pregnant.
And as it's become easier to share, it's also become easier for people to justify.
Can we just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing? We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for. Not really made for, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
There's some chatter online about normalizing teen pregnancy, usually coming from the teen mothers themselves.
Y'all, here's why we should normalize teen pregnancy.
And this has sparked a growing conversation, one that's quickly turning into pushback, debate, and very strong opinions.
Sorry to burst some of y'all's bubbles, but yes, it is actually very embarrassing to be pregnant as a teenager.
Yeah. That's always what it was. Why are we didn't bring that for? I mean, it's a real question. Yeah, no, that's not right. That's embarrassing.
Y'all over here getting pregnant and it's okay? When was this normalized?
Now look, I'm not gonna lie and make it seem like we're going back to the 2000s where teen pregnancy had a reputation to uphold. Today, teen pregnancy rates are actually at a historical
Okay, see, this is the other part. I was about to say, like, I need to see like the case studies and the research. Like, what is this at right now? They could be on here talking and saying, hey, we should do this and and they want to have a cope, whatever they is, but what are the stats saying? Because I do remember, that's what I'm saying. That's when you used to come back home and your mom started having that talk with you. It was during the time, for me, it was during that time where it would be like, you be seeing shows like this, but they made sure to let you know, that's not what you want. You feel me?
It's an undeniable trend. Fewer Americans are having babies.
If you ever wish payday came sooner, this will actually help. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features. One of the main ones lets you access up to $750 of your paycheck early if you switch your payroll over. Current has features like paycheck advance, overdraft, the build card, and even though the paycheck advance is my favorite, if you're focused on building your credit or just want a smoother way to manage your money, handles everything in one app. I rock with this app myself, which is clearly why I partner with them. And right now they're giving $75 to anybody who signs up using my link or scans the QR code on the screen. Scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign up page where you can create your account. Go through the normal sign up steps, enter your information, order your current card. That easy. After you complete those steps, you'll see the option to put in a promo code. Use mine, code Astral, which unlocks a $75 bonus whenever you link your direct deposit. Go through the full sign up process so you don't miss it. If you feel like managing money is stressful or tight, it's definitely worth checking out Current because this is exactly what it's designed to help with, helping people like you stay more on top of your finances.
Everything from less unintended teen pregnancies, that's a good thing, to women possibly having more kids later in life, and the cost to have children. All of it put together is likely why there are declining fertility rates, not only in the United States, but worldwide.
And with birth rates continuing to decline, the conversation around who is having babies is being questioned more and more. And the answer to that question is starting to move in a direction none of us were expecting.
We still have 3.6 million births a year, but the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation.
This video isn't about...
And then they mess around and not. Now, I will say this. I don't know how many of y'all... I remember the idea was start having kids at 25 and stuff. And now I have a few partners that ended up having them younger, 20, 21. Right? I have my girl. We had my son I was 24. 5, 6, yeah, 24. He's 3 right now. He'll be 4 this year. And I think what messed that up too is that during the time we were 25, you probably were more established back then when you were 25. Jobs, economy was very different, right? But now you don't start getting more established until you get older, typically, because of what's going on in the world. Like, I know a lot of y'all might be 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I just was... God bless me to where I'm able to, like, if I want to have another kid, it wouldn't really change my life other than time, right? But not financially. And that's just due to, the hard work that I put in, as well as God blessing me when he has. Some of y'all are still waiting on that moment where y'all get y'all's big break or figuring things out. Or right now, it just wouldn't make no sense, right? But I think since things were cheaper back then, as well as jobs, you could get jobs more easier and you could grow in these things and but it's a weird time now. Now they say, wait until you get established. That's what we were all taught. But some of us, we not established, like it's not getting established right now. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, now you're saying wait to have kids later, and people end up getting established 30 something, 40 something, and then now they're having their kids later during that time rather than it was earlier. I just pondered and created that idea in my brain. Tell me if that makes sense or not. Come on.
Pregnancy itself, it's about
I could be young Don too.
The system we've been relying on starts to fall apart. So if you thought this was just another video about kids these days, you're in for a rude awakening. Because once you see how the old timeline failed, you'll realize that the rules we've been following were just an 80-year-old social experiment. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now, I'm not saying you have to subscribe. You're classy. I know you don't just give those away for free, but hopefully at the end of this video, we become bestie enough for you to take that next step. Now, to really understand how we got here, we would usually start from the beginning, but there's something happening right now that changes how we look at all of this. Most people don't realize, but your personal data is being sold online.
Okay, go on. Good advertisement. Good with that money, Black Queen.
Today, there wasn't even a teenager for it to happen to. And I'm not exactly saying that people didn't exist at that age. I mean, the way we understand age right now, That wasn't how life was set up back then.
Teenagers actually were not even a thing as far as a demographic of people until after World War II. So prior to World War II, young people were called youth, young man, young woman. That's what they were called. And they lived up to it. They wanted to be like their parents. They dressed like their parents, talked like their parents, and wanted the responsibility that their parents had.
That makes sense. Whenever your grandparent is looking at you like, at your age, I was doing da-da-da, boom, bam, bop, on the coal mine and railroad, da-ding-ding, ba-ding, bang, bow. And you sitting there like, sorry, 2K about to drop though, Grandpa. Makes sense.
Before the 1940s, the separation between being a child and an adult looked very different. And when I say child, I'm mainly speaking about the 13 to 24 age range, which, believe it or not, a century ago was all grouped into one single jumbled up category called adolescence.
We were just children. And then all of a sudden, we were supposed to be adults.
In the early years of the 20th century, this new stage of life was defined between childhood and adulthood, and that stage of life was initially called adolescence. And this separate stage of life, having been defined, caused problems for actual real-time adolescence. If we're different, if we're something between childhood and adulthood, what are we? What could we be?
Imagine being a 20-year-old man shipped off to the front lines of a world war, and the world still considered you nothing more than a toddler with 2 decades of experience. Nevertheless, even though you were technically considered young, there were a lot of responsibilities that made sure the youth in you didn't stay youthful for long.
Magazines like Life encouraged the strict conformity of post-war social norms in their coverage of teenage life, especially the girls. In one photo, one of the essay's twins is shown seriously concentrating on hanging laundry with an accompanying statement about how 1947 teens think of marriage much more seriously than their wartime equivalents.
There was massive pressure to basically hit fast forward on your life and just start doing the things only grown-ups were supposed to do. And playing house was one of them.
Helen and Hal.
Maybe this makes sense. I don't know if y'all have grandparents like this, right? My grandmother, God rest her soul, Clarice Chester Johnson, the most amazing woman in the world. Miss you every day. She started having children at 1-5, right? She ended up having a lot. So maybe this type of mindset, because I used to wonder what made niggas have and my grandfather, I didn't know too much about him, but he was older. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know about those relationships, like, you know what I'm saying, where yo grandfather, if Jadion was alive during that time, I don't know if some of y'all's grandparents are like this, but if Jadion was alive back then, your grandfather would be in a Pred Catch video. Jesus! Mine would have. Again, never met him. They say that, just to give y'all some lore, they say that he had something to do with like the mob or something. These are like real New York. My mom's side is real New York, boogie down South Bronx, Patterson Project motherfuckers, right? And my grandfather has something to do with the mob, and my grandma, apparently they found my grandfather's head in like an oven or something like that. So maybe because of this mindset, right? During that time, they did not see the difference, like too much of a difference from if you were 20 something and 15, 16, 17. You know what I'm saying? Those ages, they didn't see how weird and wild that was as we do now these days.
We were only 17 when I married. Hal had finished high school, and then he joined the army for 2 years to get his military service out of the way. He asked Helen to marry him a week before he entered the army. Now that suited Helen just fine. Married life was pretty tough for Helen. Then the baby arrived.
Because when you're 17, married, and holding a newborn baby, the world isn't going to see you as a teenage mom. At least, not back in that era. But that started to change later in the 1940s. New economic changes were pulling kids out of these factories and wars, and were putting more of them in high schools.
One of the major contributors to the creation of the culture of teenagers was the public school system. Between 1920 and 1936, the number of teenage students in high school more than doubled from 30% enrolled to 60%. Enrollment in high school, rather than being forced to work alongside adults, gave teenagers a unique opportunity to develop their own culture as they spent more time in school with their peers on a daily basis than they did at work or with family.
Surrounded by hundreds of other kids with nothing to do but talk to each other. That adult influence that once made kids little adults started to be erased. Here's the thing, these kids didn't want to be little adults anymore. So they did the very thing future generations would soon follow to do, which is rebel.
And during that time prior to World War II, that there was someone who was a delinquent, who was skipping school, being lazy, being disrespectful to authority figures. Those people were given a derogatory term. And that derogatory term was the word
niggas. Oh.
Teenager. That's right. Teenager was actually a derogatory term. It meant delinquent, someone who wasn't turning out right.
This generation is basically tasting freedom. They're finally being able to experience what they now know is a teenager. You can't tell them to go back to being distinguished whippersnappers. I'm so happy I finally got an excuse to use that word, whippersnapper. It's just so fun. They tried but failed, and the world was watching the birth of a brand new force, the American Teen Rebellion.
Juvenile delinquency now is recognized as a major problem by the top.
I would have been like, imagine your grandmother or grandfather or your dad, whatever it was, cuts the TV on and this is the news station voice. I'm glad this is not like now the new news station voice is very different, but this was and today on the news we have that would be like, bro, cut this off, bro.
Rebellion.
Juvenile delinquency now is recognized.
Early in the morning, imagine this is what you cut on the TV and this was playing. Bro, turn that down.
There's a major problem by the top law enforcement officials of the land.
Our young people are getting out of hand everywhere.
Well, I know, Mrs. Robinson, every report I get from the field tells me how enormous the problem is. But no amount of law enforcement can solve a problem which goes straight to the home. The solution isn't in arresting these youngsters. It's up to the parents to give them a home life, which will be free from the temptation.
History repeats, bro. This is just, it's always just a new thing. We'll be saying the same thing about our youngsters, bro. We're doing it now. History just repeats, man. We just all need to calm down. Every generation before looked at the next one and said, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all need to calm down, bro. Everything's gonna be okay.
Two delinquents.
That man said it's up to the parents, right? But isn't that how these kids rebelled in the first place? Because the parents and societal pressures made them adults with bills and babies at 17. That tension didn't go away though. There was just this in between now where your grown-up reality and your high school schedule were clashing. You could be a legal wife and mother, but a high school dropout at the same time.
Jeff, isn't that Eileen?
Isn't that Eileen?
It sure is. Baby and all.
Gee, I haven't seen her since she left school. That looks like Mary and Jeff. I wonder if they'll say hello to me. Maybe they'll cross the street so they won't have to. Hi, Mary. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Nope. Hey, how you doing? Let me see that baby.
Hi. See you again.
Is she a lot of trouble, Eileen? Well, it's tiring. Sometimes I wish we had had more time to work things out.
And we talk about this like it's ancient history, but this was the reality for the women who raised us. They lived in a world where you were old enough to be a mother, but too scandalous to be a student. I actually sat down with my grandmother to ask her what it was like to live through that shift. What age did you feel like you had to stop being a kid and start being an adult?
I'm the age of 14.
Wow.
Couldn't be no kid no more. I had to take care of myself, a husband, and a child.
Were you able to go to high school? Were you pregnant while you were in high school?
I couldn't go to school, you know, being pregnant. They had special schools for pregnant teenagers at that time.
What those schools did, removing the teenage girls whose bellies were too much of a distraction, it showed how important the teenage brand was. And it showed just how far they would go to protect what they originally created. And eventually, instead of making these pregnant teens invisible, they just made them an example.
First, we were all surprised, you know. Everybody looked at like, Carol Clute is pregnant? Because at the time she wasn't married, you know.
Carol is a sweetheart, and Dave is a really nice kid, and they both deserve the best. But they're in a situation now, a real bind.
Some people, there's rumors at school
Books, how to parent.
saying that he didn't really
Hey, no book gonna prepare you for parent. Well, they might give you some tips and tricks, but it ain't gonna prepare you, boy.
love me, and they're just stupid little rumors that people pick up so they talk about me.
Gone was the era of young motherhood, okay? That wasn't a thing anymore. Now it was teen pregnancy, and they called it a crisis.
The most recent numbers available show that in Guilford County in 2006, 992 girls between the ages of 10 and 19 became pregnant. Local health officials say the numbers have fallen steadily for more than a decade. But the Centers for Disease Control reports the U.S. still has one of the highest teen pregnancy rates among industrialized countries.
At this point, you were either a student or a statistic. And those quiet disappearances that my beautiful grandmother mentioned earlier, that evolved into public scandals, turned into movies, TV shows, PSAs, news reports.
I'm trying to tell you, look, 16, you see how it's popped up? I'm telling you. That shit that wasn't no joke, boy. They used to tell you, like, look, play if you want to, watch out your life. You know what I'm saying? They used to make it seem as if that happened to you, you're over with. They did a good job at scaring you around this time. 2008 and 10. They did a good job of making you be like, oh, snap, it's over. Like, if that happens, it's over.
Cautionary tales, especially when there was the case of the pregnancy pact. And if you don't know what that is, just know it shook the nation.
Now to a disturbing story out of Gloucester, Massachusetts. There's been a dramatic increase in teenage pregnancies there, and authorities think they know why. Some say the high school girls planned it as part of a secret pact.
17 girls at Gloucester High School not only got pregnant, but according to some, it was no accident. School officials discovered the pregnancy pact after some girls seemed disappointed that their pregnancy test from the school nurse came back negative.
And by the early 2010s, the messaging reached a boiling point. Schools and media needed these babies to stop having babies. It's gone too far. And I'm pretty sure they were doing what they could with educating them. Sex ed classes were in every high school in the country at this point, but educating wasn't
that no more?
So they started to traumatize these kids with the cold, hard truth.
What does this ad say to you? Dad, you'll be paying to support me for the next 20 years.
Wow. Dude, these are pretty blunt.
Honestly, Mom.
Don't get scared now, nigga.
Chances are he won't stay with you.
That would really get my attention.
This is a new ad campaign by health officials in New York City. It's stunning teens, shocking parents in the Big Apple.
Got a good job? It costs thousands of dollars.
And here at home.
So now we have to ask ourselves, did all that trauma and public shaming from the past actually work? Well, if we look at the statistics, we could say yes, because the numbers have dropped lower than ever before. But if we look at our phones, that answer feels a little deceiving.
What my day looks like as a 15-year-old
who's yeah.
37 weeks and can definitely feel it.
Get ready for me to go to school. 29 weeks pregnant at 16 years old.
I'm gonna do a get ready with me, and while I'm doing it, I'm gonna talk about how I found out I was pregnant at 14.
Y'all know I usually blur babies' faces, right? Well, it's so jarring that not only do I have to blur the baby's face, But I have to blur the other baby's face because these are kids. And before I even take my next breath, let me quickly say, this portion of the video is not to shame these teen mothers. It's so much more complex than that. It's to show you how social media is now being used to flip the script and make teen pregnancy look normal, almost expected, like it was back in the day.
Should we just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal
She had a speech impediment
thing. We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for. Not really made for, like, you know what I'm trying to say.
No, we cannot normalize teen pregnancy. Absolutely not. There is way more.
There's a lot of people with speech impediments right now, yeah? Not saying that's not no issue, but like you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to make fun of people with speech impediments. I just happen to notice that's 2 back to back.
Things to do with your life as a teenager than getting pregnant.
And when we see young girls talking this boldly
on a school bus
about a situation this heavy, and then on top of that, they double down.
Somebody in my comments asked me if I still want to normalize teen pregnancy. My mind ain't never changed. Yes, I still want to normalize teen pregnancy. We all are human. I mean, women, whatever the case may be, you know what you getting yourself into when you do the do. And just stuff like that. Like, I really don't know why y'all making a big deal. Like,
cause, bro, whenever you not a step, like you run the chance of you run the chance of your child growing up in some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You run the chance of these niggas getting scared and running off, bro. Do you understand? You have you peeped? I don't know if y'all peeped this, bro. Not a lot of young little babies ain't got pops. Like, that's some 90s niggas, we ain't got pops. If you born in the 90s, my nigga, early 2000s, you probably don't know your daddy or you just started meeting that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Us 90s niggas, we the one that took the blunt force of the no dad shit. You start bringing up early stuff like this. Think about it. Think about when your pops was, bruh. Hey man, stop calling me with this scam shit, bruh. Sorry, y'all. Niggas been scared. They been calm, bro. They been blowing my shit up every day. I just got this new number, bro. I gotta change this shit. I'm trying to react. They call me multiple times a day on this scam shit, bro. This old number, this new number that I got, this new phone, it must have belonged to a woman that was getting scammed because they blowing my shit.
it's gonna happen. It happens. They be like, let them have their teenage years and have fun and shit. You can still have fun and do what you gotta do with a baby.
The reality of teenhood feels like it's going off script. And it wasn't until I started digging a bit deeper into this topic that I realized just how scary it's getting. But first, I need to paint the picture for you. If you were in public school around the mid-2010s, I feel like we can all recall that one girl, maybe group of girls, that wanted to be pregnant.
I didn't know none of that wanted to be. I just knew the ones that just was. You see what I'm saying?
It's weird. But as young girls playing with baby dolls and seeing it on TV, trust me, it wasn't a brand new phenomenon that a young girl was already picking out baby names and romanticizing a lifestyle she wasn't ready for.
My name is Victoria and I'm 15 years old and I don't care what my mama says, I'm gonna have a baby. I will do it.
What the fuck? Well, y'all think Victoria is in life now,
whatever it takes to take care of my baby. If it has to come out to toxicity in my body, then so be it. My mama thinks that I'm not.
This gotta be like somebody's gotta be acting.
Ready to have.
Ooh, her mama's sick in a bit.
Have a baby, but I have everything my baby will need.
Ugh.
I'm not just having sex with one, not two, but 3 different guys.
What the fuck is This is the worst commercial in the world.
My life dreams are to drop out of school, to be on Girls Gone Wild, and to have my baby.
There's no way no way. That's the worst ad, like commercial in the world. Oh, that's on Maury. Maury, y'all, bro. I know back then niggas thought you thought you was cooking with that shit. You probably was, boy.
occasional pop-ups on the Maury Show and Dr. Phil, most of those thoughts stayed in the back of the mind, in the back of the classroom. But today, those thoughts are on the For You page.
I was 18 telling everyone around me, I'm gonna be a superstar, and everybody's going, yeah, whatever, she's an egomaniac, and then, haha.
The urge to become a teen mommy, but I can't because society won't accept it. Fine, I wish I could be a teen mom.
Thing is like, babies are so cute and precious. Like with my son, I'm gonna see if I can show you a picture of my son when he's a baby. He was a little circle, chubby, little sumo wrestler, a little baby. He looked so cute, man. But the way my life changed, and I'm 20. And when we had my son, he was I was 24. My girl was 24 as well, bro. Look at my son. Look. Y'all took my son out when he was a baby, man. Sumo wrestler, fat little chunky little baby. He looked like he was from Asian descent. He's thinned out a lot these days. But listen to me. When I tell you your life changes like that. Do you know when you used to be able to go and just stand up and leave and just get up? Oh, I'm gone. I'm leaving. It's not an option no more. When you're gone and you're out, you're like, oh, I probably should get back. You know, the other person with the child right now is probably like, damn, tired. You feel me? He's probably throwing a tantrum right now. Let me get back and be a father. That's like, you got to think about stuff like that. That day, the days, I was talking to my partner. He was like, yeah, I just woke up from a nap, man. I said, bro, stay single and don't be with don't get no don't have no children right now, bro. Live your life in long. Not saying I regret my life at all, but I'm hearing him say things like that. You still taking naps and enjoying time, 24, 25 years old. If that's what you like to cherish, you don't need to have no children right now, my nigga. Damn, this video long.
I came across a side of TikTok where the want to be a teen mom is a lot more common than I thought. With thousands of likes and hundreds of comments with too many likes for my liking, just a few of them read, I feel like it's my purpose. This commenter searched up teen parenting routines on TikTok because they wanted to be one so bad. And then biology says yes, society says no. The argument of biology says yes is pretty terrifying when you think about it, because it's basically saying we should ignore every rule made to protect childhood and just let kids face adulthood because their bodies are changing a bit more.
Middle schoolers should not be having they should not be having they should not be having and shame on everyone else who is trying to normalize the idea of middle schoolers having. Okay, because the arguments that I keep seeing are, well, you hit puberty at this time, your body does this, you're da-da-da-da. Just because your body is ready to do something does not mean your mind is. Like, it's quite literally that simple.
So now the society says no crowd on TikTok is speaking out, and they aren't being quiet about it.
Why is this girl trying to argue me down about why 14 is too young to have kids? When I was 14, I was on my trampoline trying to figure out how to do a backflip without breaking my neck.
You think I'm gonna respect you and give you empathy because you got cracked when you were 15? I don't care who's the parent. You can be my closest friend and you're a parent? Get the out of my face with that. You really want me to feel empathy and respect you because you cracked without a condom?
And while we have one side saying teen pregnancy is nothing to be proud about, while also noting that we should go back to shaming it.
I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, but we need to bring back shaming teen pregnancy. We need to start doing what our parents did and start demonizing it.
There's the other side with a bit more sympathy.
I've seen a lot of videos of teens and young women talking about how they got pregnant as a teen, and all the...
I'll say this, right? I don't think we should... I don't know how I feel. I thought I did. I feel like it's tough when you do that and you shame, but the ones that like are going through it, and so now they're going through life feeling as if like they are failures and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But is doing that gonna help the greater good? It's also like if it's low right now, maybe we should just keep doing what we're doing to keep it as low as possible. If they have a community for themselves where they're like, hey, everything's okay, the normalize, like putting, hey, normalize XYZ. We need to change that. Like that type of wording needs to get banned on. Maybe it's like, hey, this is a safe place for people who are also in this situation. You feel me? But saying things like normalize XYZ, maybe these applications need to have some type of way where they can, but they're not. That, you know, that's just a perfect world. But I do feel like I don't want the people that are going through this to feel as if like if they see all these things like, look at this, look at that person over there. They fucking look at that, their life is over. I don't want them to go through that and then they have to, and now they're fighting against the system and they're like, they feel like they can't turn it around because, you know, one day that person's going to be 30 something. And their child's going to be older. They're going to be 40 something. Their child's going to be older and they're going to be trying to figure that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want people to feel bad. But I don't know. Can you not? And I'm asking y'all: is there a world where you can do that while not making them not feel bad, while also trying to say, "Hey, you know, this is not a good thing." Yeah, I think so. But I think it just comes down to the parent and them telling them that. But being on there and maybe shaming isn't the right word.
Comments are always just hating on them, like, oh, you did this to yourself. This is not a flex. How do you think people are going to react to this? You don't want them to be a teen mom because it's hard. And you don't want them to be promoting teen motherhood because it's difficult and that would be difficult for other people. So what is your solution? To make it more difficult for them to live as a person.
The argument here is that the mistake already happened, so piling on the hate and shaming them into a corner isn't actually helping. But that's exactly where the two sides are starting to clash, because where one person sees support, the other person sees encouragement, and that's how we ended up in this non-stop loop.
I came across this video on Instagram of this girl talking about how she got pregnant at 14.
Someone said support teen pregnancy parents, support teen parents, but not teen pregnancy. They said, what's the difference? I think there's a clear difference.
Teens, she got pregnant at 16 and now she's pregnant again at 19 and now her parents don't help her take care of the baby, so she gotta like get up and do it herself.
So I got pregnant at 14, 16, and 19, which means I have a
where do you
5-year-old,
live?
3-year-old, and I'm pregnant. My parents don't take care of my kids for me, which means I have to get up and do it. So let's go.
And all I commented was, oh. Was I judging? Absolutely, because teen pregnancy should not be normalized, especially at 14 and doing it again at 16. That's crazy. Tell me why they mad at me. Why are you mad at me? Because I don't like promoting fucking teen pregnancy. What? Y'all are fucking weirdos.
And this loop goes so much more deeper.
It's probably, I think it's kind of, if I'm gonna be consistent with it, it's probably because the comment was unnecessary. Like, yeah, she's going through that shit. You see that. You know what I'm saying? So the comment probably was just unnecessary. Like the negative comments, guys, I've never seen something before and been like, I'm leaving a negative comment on this. I might have a negative opinion, negative judgment, but I just never felt like I'm going to leave a negative comment on this nigga shit. I've never understood. I'll never get that. Never get it.
Than you think. Remember earlier when I said...
All right, guys, but I will say this. Like, go pull it to Janae's channel, bro. I done yapped too much on this. This is a long video. And I got other videos to do, though. So, hey, y'all heard me yapping up. I lay out. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for y'all, man. We're gone. ADD let up.